Everybody, my name is Kyle, and welcome back to another video. Today, in this one, is going to be another deck profile video, and in this one is going to be my deck profile on Sharks post Rage of the Abyss. Yeah, Sharks is one of my favorite road decks of all time. I've been playing it since Stealth Kraken came out. I think that was December of 2021. So I've been playing this for a while. I've been making updated deck lists every time they've been getting new support, and that's no different today because they got some new support from the Rage of the Abyss, and that new support does quite a lot for the deck. So we'll be doing the deck profile, and then I'll be doing some combos later on in the video as well. But before we can get into the deck profile, one thing before we get into this is this going to be a tier 1 deck? No, not at all. Is this like a good rogue deck? I would say so, and it's actually a pretty good budget deck as well because most of the core for Sharks and most of the extra deck as well is actually pretty cheap for you to get. I know like the hand trap lineup might be a little bit more expensive, especially once you see what's in the hand trap lineup, but pretty much after that, like the core and the extra deck isn't that hard to get. So yeah, without further ado, let's actually get into the deck profile, shall we? So we're going to start off with the normal summons with the deck. That is 3 Buzzsaw Shark and technically 3 Surfacing Big Jaws as well. I do apologize about the glare. So these are kind of the cards you want to see because technically these are the 1-card combos. These are what I call the normal summons of the deck because this is what you really want to be normal summoning. Now technically Surfacing Big Jaws doesn't have to be normal summon. It does have a special summon effect. If you activate a spell in the turn, you can special summon this card from your hand. These cards are really good. Buzzsaw Shark lets you be able to special summon another shark or another fish monster from your deck, and then Surfacing Big Jaws lets you add a shark monster from your deck to your hand. So these are pretty much 1-card combos I'll show off later on in the video. So these are the cards you want to see, but these are the only normal summons for the deck because the rest of the deck are pretty much extenders, because this is one thing with Sharks, and it's always been a problem with Sharks, is if they hit your normal summon, you pretty much lose. So your normal summon is the weakest thing in the deck. So technically Buzzsaw Shark is your only true normal summon, while Surfacing Big Jaws can be a normal or a special summon depending on what your hand is. So that's what the problem is, and this is what the deck is trying to do, is trying to prevent it where it loses to its normal summon though. So these are the really only normal summons for us. We're not playing like the Tuna Full Princesses, because if you do get Ash on that, you do pretty much lose the game. But these are the cards you want to see for sure in your hand. Next thing up are going to be extenders. We're going to start off with the best extender, and that is Abyss Shark. The only problem with Abyss Shark is it's a level 5. Yes, it can be treated as a level 4, but only for number XYZ monsters. But it's a really good card because not only does it special summon itself to the field, but also searches a fish monster from your deck as well, which is really, really, really good. A really dumb extender for the deck. Again, the only problem is it is a level 5, but it can treat itself as a 4. And this did just get reprinted Bonanza, so it's actually not that hard to get anymore as well. Now on to some 2s for extenders. I am playing 2 Tangy Spirit Chitana. Now this is a little bit of a weird one. I've always played Chitana in my list just because it is a level 4 water that is just a free special summon. You don't have to control a monster like a lot of the other extenders do. This is just if you control nothing, you just special it to the field, which isn't the hardest thing to do. This plus the Abyss Shark is really, really good because you can go combo without having to commit to your normal summon, right? You can get 3 bodies before you commit, or 2 bodies before you commit to your normal summon. So I do really like this card. The only problem with this card is it's not a fish monster, which is unfortunate for exactly 1 card, which we'll get to in just 1 second. But I think it's a very good extender for sure. And then the other extender we're playing is another 2 of extender we're playing is a Sea Needle as well. This was initially when I was playing Kraken Control, didn't really like because it did lock you into waters. But now you don't necessarily care about that. You don't mind getting locked into waters. And again, this is a good extender. I like this extender over Silent Angler because this doesn't lock you out of your special summoning from hand, so that does matter a lot. So I am playing 2 of this compared to Silent Angler instead. But again, another problem with it is it's not a fish. But again, we'll get to that in just 1 second. So those are 2 of extenders that we were playing. Now on to the 1 of extenders we're playing is 1 Silent Angler, the one I just mentioned. Again, this is a really good extender. The only problem with it is it locks you from special summoning out of your hand, which happens a lot in this deck now, so I did decide to cut it to 1, but still wanted to play it because I did want a search target for Abyss Shark still that isn't XYZ Remora, which we'll get to in 1 second. So Silent Anger is that other extender for us. So really, really good 1 of extender. The next 1 of extender we're playing is XYZ Remora. So this is the really good card for us. So its effect is you can detach 2 materials from any XYZ monsters you control, special itself, and then when it's special summoned this way, you can special summon into fish monsters from your graveyard. So a really, really good extender for us. We're only playing one of it because we do have multiple ways to get to this card, so it's not the hardest thing in the world for us, and this is the reason why we cut Angler down to 1, because we're probably going to be looping this multiple times in our turn as well. But a really, really good card that we're playing. Now, for other one-ofs that I don't necessarily think are the greatest, but we are still playing, is one of them is Drake Shark. This card is terrible. Technically, it's the Poplar of the archetype, and when it's added to hand, you can just special summon it to the field. But the thing is, the difference between Poplar and this card is Poplar actually has a beneficial on-field effect. This doesn't really do anything for the deck. Yes, it can be treated as 2 materials if you use it for a XYZ monster that requires 3 materials or more, but that doesn't necessarily come at that. That's exactly for 1 monster, and I'm technically not even playing that monster anyways. So, and you know, its other effect, if you use the XYZ monster, it can destroy a back row, technically, but that's it. This is really only here just because it's an extender, but it's probably the worst extender in the deck, in my opinion. But you still want to play it because it is a shark, so you can search it off like a surfacing big jaws just to go keep playing into for extension plays. And then the last one I'm playing is the 1 Crystal Shark. Technically, this is not the greatest in the world either, just because it is a level 5. It can be treated as a 4 for a number of XYZ monsters, same thing with the Fish Shark. But again, this is the fact that it's a 5 makes it bad. But the reason why I like this a lot is because it can be in the graveyard and can still special summon itself. So every other extender has to be in hand to special itself. Crystal Shark can just be in the graveyard and can still special itself. So that's why I like Crystal Shark, and that's why we're still playing it. So that is it for the main deck monsters. Now on to the going second cards that I'm playing. We are playing 3 Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, 2 Triple Tactic Talents, and 2 Forbidden Droplet, 1 Called by the Grave, 3 Infinite Impermanences, and of course 3 Dominus Impulse. These are your going second option. Again, I do apologize about the glare. This is one of the decks that does not care about the impulse lock, so this is the deck that can just take advantage of this. Again, this deck is really cheap, but again, impulse is very expensive. That's why I kind of hesitated when I say going second. Cards are a little bit more expensive, but I think I like this lineup a lot. Again, we're playing Called by because Mulchummy exists. If you do have Mulchummy, by the way, probably do play it in this deck. I just don't have Mulchummy, so that's the reason why you don't see it right now. I'm playing the Talents and Droplets instead. But I do like this a lot. This is a 14 going second. You can probably make it 15 if you really want to, but I do like this a lot. Again, the only difference is if you do have Mulchummy, you probably should be playing Fuaras in here as well. So that is it for the going second cards. Now on to the spell trap cards we're playing. We are playing 3 Foolish Barrel for the obvious target of Ice Barrier. So this is the reason why we're playing this is because this is another way to get your Abyss Shark. So you can go Foolish Barrel, dump Ice Barrier, Ice Barrier, banish itself, dump Abyss Shark to the graveyard, and then just add it to your hand, which is really cool. It's a spell card, so it makes it where if you have a Surfacing Big Jaws in your hand, you can just special summon it. That's why Foolish Barrel is in here. But technically, Ice Barrier has another niche thing where it doesn't technically have to add the Abyss Shark, and this is why we're still playing Crystal Shark, is because if, let's say, you have like a Buzzsaw or a Surfacing Big Jaws in your graveyard, you can go Foolish Barrel, dump the Ice Barrier to your graveyard, then go Ice Barrier, banish yourself, dumping Crystal Shark instead, and then adding back a Buzzsaw or the Surfacing Big Jaws, or even something like an XYZ Remora as well, or even like a Shark Drake as well, which is why I kind of like this a little bit more. Is yes, its main purpose is to get to Abyss Shark, but it does have little niche other things it can do as well. So this is a really cool package that we're playing for us. And again, it's a spell, so it helps us get the extension off of Surfacing Big Jaws as well. For one of the spell traps we're playing now, we're playing 1 Foolish Barrel. Now this might seem a little weird that we're playing this because we're not playing Right-Hand Shark. The only target we technically have is the Crystal Shark. But the reason why I'm playing this is, again, once we get to the extra deck, I'll explain more about this card. But technically, this can get us to anything if you really want to. But again, mostly going to get it for your Crystal Shark. But again, once we get to the extra deck, I'll come back to Foolish Barrel. And also, one more thing about Foolish Barrel. Technically, with Foolish Barrel Good, if you draw both of these together, it actually works pretty well because you can go Foolish Barrel, dump the Ice Barrier, go Foolish Burial, dump like a Buzzsaw, then go Ice Barrier effect, dump a Crystal Shark, add Buzzsaw Shark back to your hand. That's really cool. But again, we'll get back to the Foolish Barrel once we get to the extra deck as well. For other one-offs we're playing, we are playing the 1 Instant Fusion. This is obviously because we're playing the Mud Dragon in the extra deck. Again, I'll explain more once we get to the extra deck for this card, but that's another one-off player. we're playing. And then now for the last 3 cards in the deck, we are playing 1 Reincarnation Unveiling Mail, 1 Full Armored XYZ, and then 1 Virtue Stream. So these are technically the 3 bricks with the deck. These are searchable through extra deck guys, which is really cool. So that's the reason why we're playing them. But these are technically main deck bricks that we don't want to see in our hand at all. Again, Virtue Stream is basically an Icarus attack for the deck, which is really, really good for us. And its graveyard effect does come up where it can turn something into a water. That does sometimes come up. And then obviously these are 2 for the XYZ armor extra deck package that we're playing. Again, we'll explain more of this once we get to the extra deck as well. So that is it for the main deck. Now let's actually get into the extra deck, shall we? My bad, let me get this going. So starting off, we will start off with the Stealth Kragans, 2 of them, and then of course the 1 Stealth Kragan spawn. So this is a little weird. You might see people playing different ratios. Maybe they're only playing the 1 Kragan. You can even see some people just not playing the spawn at all. But I'm deciding to still playing spawn and still playing 2 Stealth Kragan. I've always liked this ratio, and the reason why I like it in this deck particularly. So let me get the card out real quick. So with Virtue Stream here, so if Kragan has a material, you can go Virtue Stream, target the Kragan, and target 2 cards they control, destroys them. Kragan doesn't care how it is destroyed, so as long as it has a material under it, you can just special spawn from the extra deck, and then you can use Virtue Stream's effect in graveyard, banishing itself, turning something into water, and then Stealth Kragan spawn, they can in turn destroy that card. So that's the reason why I'm still playing this package here, just because this card pretty much turns on this entire package. That's why I'm still playing the spawn. Obviously Stealth Kragan by itself is really good, so you don't necessarily need that, but I'm still playing the spawn because of Virtue Stream in the deck. I do really like this ratio. If you don't want to play this ratio, that's perfectly fine. The extra deck is a little tight, so if you want to fit other stuff in it, that's perfectly fine with me, but I do really like this package a lot, so that's the reason why I'm still playing it at that ratio. Now on to the Bahamut Shark packages. So we're playing, obviously, the 2 Bahamut Sharks. We're only playing 1 Totally Awesome. I did come up with the kind of theory where you only necessarily need 1 Toad right now. There's really no other option to play 2 Toad, because off your second Bahamut Shark, you're always pretty much summoning the LaVirtue Dragon. This is what searches you the Virtue Stream, which is really, really cool. So this is kind of the Bahamut package I'm playing. I'm only playing the 1 Toad plus the 1 Levature plus the 2 Bahamut. So, 2 Bahamut Sharks, and then obviously 2 targets for those Bahamut Sharks. Now, I want to talk about the Virtue Stream a little bit more, because this card is really impactful to the deck. Not only can it search for your the Virtue Stream, but this is why I will come back to Foolish Burial one more time. So if you have LaVirtue on the stream plus a Foolish Burial, you can go Foolish Burial, dump whatever you want to search, go LaVirtue, detach a XYZ material from a monster, then add that monster that you dumped off Foolish Burial back to your hand. So that's why I kind of like Foolish Burial a lot more in this deck, just because this card exists, and this card can pretty much search anything back from the graveyard, which is really, really cool. It comes up for the 1-card combos and stuff like that. So this card is really impactful. This is what makes the Shark deck, like new support, really, really fucking broken. So I really do like the LaVirtue Dragon. But yeah, that's the reason why I am playing the Foolish Burial, is because LaVirtue Dragon can add back anything from the graveyard, so the Foolish Burial becomes like a utility kind of guy. So really good card that we are playing for the extra deck. We are playing 1 Full Armored Black Ray Lantern. This might be a little bit weird. We're not playing this for the XYZ Armored package. We're playing this for a completely different reason. But once we get to the 1-card combos and stuff like that, like the combos and shit like that, this will come up more. But you'll see why we are playing this in the combos for sure. And then another rank 4 we're playing is Abyss Dweller. Obviously, it's Abyss Dweller. It's a rank 4 that this deck can easily make. And against certain matchups, this card just fucking goes in a lot. So that's the reason why we're still playing the Abyss Dweller. Now onto the XYZ Armored package. We are playing the 1 XYZ Armored Fortress, obviously. So this lets us search these guys. Let me see if I can remember their name. Oh my god, I'm sorry. Oh my god. Okay, Reincarnation Unveiling Mail and the Full Armored XYZ. This is what we're searching off the XYZ Armored Fortress. So this is really cool. Again, this comes up for the 1-card combos. Once we get to the combos, you'll see why we're playing both of them and not just playing the one, because technically they are both a brick, so you don't necessarily want to open them. But they're important when it comes to the one card combo. So, but this card is very insane for the deck, and obviously we are playing the full armored Dark Knight Lancer as well. This card is fucking insane. It's an interruption. You can add back cards from the graveyard. Something like XYZ Remora comes up. You can add XYZ Remora from the graveyard, so that's why we can loop that pretty well. But yeah, very good package that we are playing for the extra deck. And then the last couple cards we are playing that seems weird initially, but do let me explain just real quick. So we are playing the F-Zero package. Now, this is going to sound weird, but again, once we get to the combo, you'll see why we're playing this, especially since you're like, well, doesn't this deck get locked into a lot of stuff? Like they're water lock. Like Impulse technically does lock you, but you're only really making this going first. You're never making F-Zero going second, so you don't really have to worry about the Impulse lock when you're playing this. But if you really want to get weird, technically, you don't need this card. You don't need the F-Zero. You technically just need the topic feature. Again, once we get to the combo, you'll see why. So if you want to cut this card for something else, perfectly fine with me. But yeah, this card is cuttable, but I think this you do need to play because the XYZ armor can let you XYZ summon your opponent's turn, and you can just XYZ summon this on your opponent's turn. Again, once we get to the combos, you'll see why in just 1 second. And then for the last card we are or XYZ monster we're playing is, of course, Divine Arsenal AA Zeus. Again, a little bit conflictory just because we are playing Impulse, and if you activate Impulse, Zeus is turned off. But Zeus is strong enough where if you aren't Impulse locked, you want to have that Zeus. So we are playing the 1 of Zeus in this deck. I was playing 2 of Zeus in this deck for a while, but I think this is now just a 1 of for the deck as well. And then the last extra deck card we're playing is, of course, the 1 Mud Dragon of the Swamp. This is for the instant fusion. It makes it where your guys can't be targeted, which is really, really good for us. And it's a level 4 water, which matters a lot for something like the Bahamas Sharks and stuff like that as well. But if you do want to cut this and play like cut instant fusion, cut this, you want to play like another extra deck guy, you can, because the cards we're not playing, which I think you could consider, let me get them real quick, is of course the Shark Drake, the Shark Drake package if you really want to play this, and the full armored Crystal Lancer as well. These are cards I'm not playing, but I have identified that, you know what, if you do want to play it, you can. If you do want to make cuts, you can cut like the Mud Dragon, you can cut Instant Fusion and play just another extender in your deck. If you want to cut like the F-Zero package as well, so technically those are like the 3 cuts, you can. Again, I argue you don't want to cut this, but if you do want to play this, these are probably the 3 cuts instead. But I do prefer these a little bit more. But again, I can see why if you still want to play this is probably the 3 cuts you want to make in the extra deck instead. So that is it for the main deck. If you want to go for side deck options, I don't really have a side deck built right now, but for side deck options, I would go with like something like a Gozen Match in your side deck. You probably should be playing Pirellia in your side deck as well. Maybe even like a cross out for like a D-Berry, because D-Berry does shit on this deck. So something like that. That's what I would recommend. But again, the side deck can be whatever you want it to be. So yeah, without further ado, let's actually get into the combo, shall we? Alrighty, now on to the combo portion of the video. So in this combo portion, we're going to show you 2 1-card combos, one showing off the Buzzsaw 1-card combo, and the other one showing off the Surfacing Big Jaws 1-card combo. So without further ado, let's get to the combos. We'll start off with the Buzzsaw combo here. So again, all you need is the Buzzsaw. So we'll normal summon Buzzsaw. Buzzsaw effect target itself to special summon a Surfacing Big Jaws from the deck here. We'll overlay these 2 into a Bahamut Shark. Bahamut Shark effect, detaching Surfacing Big Jaws is fine. So specialing out the La Virtue Dragon. La Virtue Dragon goes ahead and searches the Virtue Stream on special summon here. And then we'll go ahead and overlay the XYZ Armored Fortress on top of Bahamut Shark, detaching 2 for its effect to search out the full armored XYZ and the Reincarnation Unveiling Mail from the hand here. And this is where we're going to show you why Reincarnation Unveiling Mail is super important to the combo here. So we'll now overlay into the full armored Dark Knight Lancer here, then go Reincarnation Unveiling Mail to equip to the XYZ. Now then we'll go the Virtue Dragon effect, detaching the XYZ Armored Fortress from the Dark Lancer here to go ahead and add back Surfacing Big Jaws here. And then since we have activated a spell this turn, now we can do Surfacing Big Jaws effect. This is why the Reincarnation Mail is super important, because it's a spell that you can search, that you can activate for something like a Surfacing Big Jaws here. So we'll go effect on summon here to go ahead and search for Abyss Shark from the deck here. We'll go Abyss Shark effect here to special itself out to the field, and then search ourselves an XYZ Remora from our hand here. We'll overlay here and go ahead into a Stealth Kragan here, and then go overlay the full armored Black Ray Lancer on top of the Virtue Dragon here. Then go
Remora effect detaching Big Jaws and the Lavertru Dragon, then effect to special back Buzzsaw and the surfacing Big Jaws here. Then we'll overlay for a Bahamut Shark here. Now we're going to stop the combo here. Again, this was all just a one card combo. If you have another combo here, or another extender, sorry, you can special the extender, overlay the Big Jaws, and go into something like another Stealth Kraken or a Dweller or something like that. But again, this is just the one card combo here. So we'll go Bahamut Shark effect here, detaching Buzzsaw to go ahead and summoning out Toad here. And then we'll go effect of the Dark Light Lantern, adding back the Armored Fortress to the extra deck there. And then we'll go ahead and just set 2, and we'll pass on that. So just off of one card, we got a lot off of this. We have so many interruptions here. So during their turn, we have obviously the Toad to Omni negate something, and then obviously Toad affecting Graveyard gets you back the Buzzsaw Shark, which gets you follow up for your following turn there, right? But we still have the Stealth Kraken here to pop a card on their field. It's a Trident. And then now we have the Icarus attack of Virtue Stream targeting the Stealth Kraken and 2 cards they control. So now that's 1 Omni Negate, 3 pops just off those cards right now. We're still not done here. We have the Stealth Kraken effect since it was destroyed to special summon out the Spawn here from the extra deck here. We'll equip or overlay or attach to as material. And then we'll do Virtue Stream effect, target any one of their monsters to make him a water monster. Then Spawn effect to pop that monster. So now that's 4 pops and an Omni Negate. And then we can go full armored XYZ. We are not locked into waters, and this is why the F-Zero does come up here, is because we can use the Spawn, the Bahamut Shark, and the full armored Black Ray Lancer to go into an F-Zero on our opponent's turn, since again we're not locked into waters right now. So, and then that also does trigger Toad effect since it was sent to graveyard to add back Abyss Shark. That's not a once per turn, so now we have full follow-up, right? And now we have another F-Zero, a monster negate. So now we have an Omni negate, a monster negate, 4 pops, and we're still not done because now we can go full armored XYZ, attach Toad to Black Lancer, and then Black Lancer effect to put material on top as well. So now we have an Omni negate, a monster negate, a attach, and 4 pops. So that's what, 7 interruptions on our opponent's turns just off of 1 card. That does not including 4 cards in your hand, which could be, something like 4 Omni Negates, right? If you have another extender here, you also can have a Dweller or another Kraken, which is just more interruptions, right? So very insane what 1 card can do for this deck. So now let's get into the Surfacing Big Jaw combo. Alrighty, now for the Surfacing Big Jaw combo here. It's just a 1 card combo once again. Now, I will say this does a little bit less than what the Buzzsaw Shark combo did, but still does quite a lot. And it's just to show you that this deck now does have another normal summon besides just the Buzzsaw. Now we do have the Surfacing Big Jaws, but again, this is also an extender that it acts as both a normal summon and an extender, which is really, really cool. So now let's get into the combo, shall we? So we'll go in the main phase. Normal summon Big Jaws effect to search for Abyss Shark. Abyss Shark effect here will trigger Abyss Shark, sorry, to special itself, and then we'll search out a Drake Shark from the deck here. Then obviously Drake Shark effect, since it was added to hand, to special itself to the field here. We'll overlay into a Bahamut Shark effect to go ahead and go into a Lavertru Dragon, and then Lavertru Dragon to add Virtue Stream to the hand here. And now we'll do Lavertru Dragon's effect now, detaching off of Bahamut Shark to go and search a Surfacing Big Jaw. This does matter, and you'll see why in just 1 second. Then we'll overlay the Black Ray Lancer on top of the Virtue, and then XYZ Armored Fortress to put on top. And then we'll go effect detaching 2 to go ahead and search full armored XYZ and the Reincarnation Unveiling Mail here. And then we'll go ahead and do Unveiling Mail equipped to the XYZ Armored Fortress. And then since a spell was activated this turn, we can special summon the Surfacing Big Jaws from our hand using its effect. And then we'll overlay into a Stealth Kraken, and then we'll set 2 and pass here. So again, not as much interruptions based off what we just saw with the Buzzsaw combo, but it's still quite a lot. So what you get is during the main phase, we can go full armored XYZ to overlay into the Dark Ray Lancer here. And then we still have the Kraken to pop, so that's 1 pop. Then we have the Icarus attack, popping the Stealth Kraken to pop 2 cards on their field, and Stealth Kraken to special a Spawn here and attach 1 card as material here. Then Virtue Stream effect to make something a water, and then we can do Stealth Kraken Spawn to pop that water monster. Then we'll go full armored XYZ to equip to full Ray Lancer, and then sorry, my bad. Dark Knight Lancer will trigger here to attach a card. So here, just off the 1 card combo with Surfacing Big Jaws, we got 4 pops and an attach. So technically it's 5 interruptions. So not as many interruptions as you just saw with the Buzzsaw combo, but still quite a lot. Again, this combo was to show off that technically this deck now does have another normal summon that it can play with, not just, just the Buzzsaw and then a shit ton of extenders, right? So yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, leave a like, subscribe for more content on the channel, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.